Hey, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to the Whiskey Cove. And on today's episode, we look at the whiskeys and bourbons that I passed on in the month of March. Run the video. All right then, friends and allies, welcome back to a new episode of the Whiskey Cove, where we will be looking at the whiskeys and bourbons that I passed on in the month of March. So this is a video that you folks very much like. You have a lot of engagement with it, you message and comment, and you tell me exactly the whiskeys that you're passing on. I started this video because a lot of you folks at home were saying that there's no way you see these whiskeys, there's no way you see this, there's no way you see that for these prices. So I thought, as I'm on my journey, as I'm hunting and going around, you folks can see exactly what we're having here in Colorado, exactly what the prices are, and exactly what I'm passing on and why I'm passing on them. With that being said, of course, as always, we have the trusty laptop, and what we'll need to do then is pull up a picture and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So the first picture, and this is a store here in Thornton, Colorado, and as you can see, they have a lot of stuff there, but the way they do this is, and we've talked about this a little bit in the channel, on the channel before, is that you have to have points to be able to buy something that has a red tag. So they have some stuff here that is worthy, I guess. The single Rick House there, this is going to be the Camp Nelson B. They're selling for $304, so I think you need to have spent $500 there to be able to access that. They had the Michter's Straight Rye, as you can see on the shelf. They have Bombergers and Shanks for $130 each, and that's MSRP. So some of these prices on this stuff, and you've seen these shelves before, has been coming down, which isn't too bad. Some of the Penelopes there are still a little high. It looks like the 11-year or the 10-year single barrel is 173. That's too high. And then the 9 years, 130. That's too high, and that's not worth it. And they also have a haystack needle on the top left there for $150. That's a pass on that. But if they keep dropping, then I might pick up one of those Penelopes. Do you think it's worth me picking up that Russell's for $300? I bought Camp Nelson before. It's up above my head, and it wasn't a B. So, but it's a lot of money, and I haven't heard that it's a fantastic bottle of whiskey. So we'll kind of wait and see. Here we have a Smoke Wagon. This is a 5-year single barrel for $110. So this is one of the reasons why I don't like Smoke Wagon. This is just a barrel of whiskey from MGP, a single barrel of whiskey, and it's only 5 years old, and they're selling it for $110. The price on this is usually around $100, so it's pretty expensive as it is. And it's for 5 years old, I just don't understand the value in it. It just doesn't make much sense for me. And understanding value is always important to me, and we always appreciate collaborations on this channel, and that's why today's video is sponsored by the one and only Zbiotics. So Zbiotics have been working with us for coming up to 2 years now, and without Zbiotics we can't do a lot of the stuff that we'd love to do with like the lotteries and the free giveaways. So whenever people collaborate with us, we like to share that love with you. So what is Zbiotics is what you're asking. So Zbiotics pre-alcohol probiotic is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings the day after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to make Zbiotics the first drink of the night, drink responsibly, and you'll feel your best tomorrow. So if you want to be able to get some Zbiotics for 15% off your first order, hit that QR code or go down below in the link and click on that, and then use code WhiskeyCove for 15% off your order. That works on subscription services too. And for whatever reason, if you're not happy, they have a 100% money back guarantee. So you can reach out to them and then they'll give you the hook up there. Thank you to Zbiotics for sponsoring today's video. And again, without them, we can't do awesome giveaways and live streams where we can give back to you folks at home. So support me by supporting my sponsors. Thank you so much, everybody. The next picture on this is going to be these Fortalezas. And I know some of you folks really like these tequilas, and I bought a couple of bottles in the past. So I did actually buy one of these bottles. So technically I passed on some. So I bought the Fortaleza Blanco there for $70. I thought that was a reasonable and pretty solid price. However, the Anejo and the Reposados next to them are crazy prices. You see, one for $170 and then the other one for $200. That's way too much, because I feel like the Fortaleza Reposado that I bought was about $80. So I'm not sure what the pricing structure is here. That's kind of a little bit all over the place for me. So passed on the Anejo, passed on the Reposado, but I did end up buying a bottle that we might see on a store haul video here soon. Also took a trip out to Costco, and they had this. They had the Larceny barrel proof. So this is going to be the C924, but as you can see, what a great price, $56. You never see it at any store for $56. Yes, Costco doesn't have the biggest whiskey selection, but when they do get good whiskey, they get awesome prices. I did pass on this because I didn't need one. Also at a store, they had this bottle, Fanged Pursuit. This is a 17-year-old Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey coming in at $200. This is part of the Orphan barrel series where they bring out like Fable and Folly, Copper Tongue, a lot of different ones. I don't know too much about this bottle. I've seen a few people post about it online, but no one's really put out a review. I wonder if it's any good. You tell me, folks at home, because I've seen this quite consistently for around $200 in this area. Is it worth picking up? And do you know where it's sourced from, or is it like a blend? That will be waited and seen there. And then next up, we have a couple of bottles here. We have a Midwinter Night's Dram for $160. That was always going to be a big pass. Then the Casa Noble is a new bottle from High West. It's a tequila finished whiskey, and I'm just seeing it everywhere. And for $200, it's definitely not worth the money. It's interesting to see that these Angel's Envies have come down in price. I think when they initially hit this year, they were all $330. Yeah, those days are long gone. Good luck getting that price for that Angel's Envy. As you can see, more Orphan barrels here. $190 for the Woven Honor. The Woven Honor being a single malt Scotch whiskey. And then Indigo Hour, which is straight bourbon whiskey. Again, 18 years old, a little low on the ABV. This is 45% ABV or 90 proof. But I think that's a little bit too high for $250. I might be wrong. Maybe you folks can update me on that here. And then moving on, we also see some of these Bardstowns here. So I wanted to take this picture and just to see if any of these are worth picking up, really, folks. So we have the Amrut. So I've tried that, and I don't think that's worth picking up. I didn't like that one. That is Amrut is Indian single malt, so that's that collaboration there. Next up, we have Founders, which is a brewery. So I can imagine this is a stout finish, KBS aged stout barrels. Yeah, so it's a bourbon whiskey finished in stout barrels. That doesn't jive with me just off the bat, or maybe I'm missing out on something there. And then we also see another brewery collaboration. This is the Goose Island. This is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey finished in Goose Island bourbon brand county barrels. So I do actually like Goose Island bourbon brand. I have a bunch of bottles. I have bottles going back as far as 2014 all the way up until last year. So I am a favorite of it, but I've never liked this is really strange. This is my logic, folks. I like stouts finished in whiskey barrels, but I just don't like the sound of whiskey finished in a stout barrel. I don't know if that logic makes sense, but maybe it does to me. And then Silver Oak next to it, the Bardstown one. This is a blend of straight bourbon whiskey finished in Silver Oak Cabernet barrels, 54% ABV or 108 proof for $170. So why I haven't really taken a stab on these is that the prices are quite high, so I'm a little bit scared to get something that I don't like. At the same store, they had this Blood Oath Trilogy for $800. That seems wildly expensive. Saying that the Blood Oath Pact 7, when it was released, was about $110. The Pact 8 was about $120, and then the Pact 9 was about $140. So I don't know where the $800 math is coming, because what is that, like $275, $250 or so, or $265 or so. That doesn't make any sense. Just because it comes in a trilogy and you get all three in a row doesn't mean that you need to go gouge your customers. That should, even at $500, that would be expensive, but it should definitely be maybe $400. And I could make it this argument that that's still too expensive, but it was pretty cool to see that. And then next up, we had this Master's Keep. I've seen this quite a few times at different stores. I think that it's just not moving because Wild Turkey put the prices up crazy, and it looks like the Master's Keep has caught that bug too. $400. That's going to be there for a while. And at the same store, this is the first month for like 4 months that the Weller Millennium is no longer there. I don't know how they got rid of it. I guess someone came in and paid $7,500 for it. Last video we said under and over. Well, it didn't take long. It took a month. Or they just took it down and maybe they'll try to do it through like a raffle. Because this store, Total Beverage, they do like charity raffles. So I think that's probably what they did instead, truth be told. Going into Costco now. And this was actually a picture that someone posted here. And it was showing that these Woodford Reserves have come down in price. So when the Woodford Double Oaked was released with a price tag of $200, I was like, I'll wait and see what Costco does with this, because Costco generally carries some Woodford, and it looks like it's $162.79, which is the cheapest that I've seen it. I kind of needed to be closer to 100 for me to pull the trigger on it, much like the one to the right, which is the Masters Collection for $120. That's the batch proof, and even that, so I want it to be $100. I feel like that's more than where it is, but Charles, that bourbon dude, who's very excited to get the Woodford Reserve Double Oaked, was deeply dissatisfied with that. Also as well, Joseph Magnus for $160. That's the cheapest that I've seen for a while. Again, this picture was posted by someone else, but I definitely want to share it. And if you are out and about, folks, and you take a picture of a good whiskey, or you take a picture of whiskey that's cheap or allocated that you passed on, or something you want to get more information on, definitely go and email it to me. My email is down below in the description. It's TheWhiskeyCove@gmail.com, and I will put it in one of these episodes, and then hopefully, someone down in the comment section might be able to give us some feedback on it. And then next up, we have Knob Creek 12 here for $88. That's expensive, but I haven't seen Knob Creek 12 around Colorado that much lately, so I definitely wanted to take a picture of that. They had our next picture, Old Forester 1924 for $150. That was a pass. And then they also had the Old Forester single barrel, the rye, the Warehouse I Floor 3 for $130. That's about $45, too much for me. Then at the same store, they had this Jack Daniel's 10, which is $200. I asked him if he was able to negotiate or was willing to negotiate on any of these bottles, and he said, oh, well, I only have one of these bottles, so I'm not willing to do that. And then also as well, you can see this is the same store. They had some Bomb Burgers, some Eagle Rare, some Weller 12, and he wasn't really shifting on any of these. And as you can see, very crazy prices indeed. And I said that, look, dude, with all due respect, you've had these bottles on that shelf for coming up to a year now, and he was just happy just to keep them on the shelves without it being sold by anybody or without someone coming in to buy it. Next up, and this is the first time that I've ever seen these two bottles on the shelf, and this was here in Colorado. So I did ask what the price was on the Taylor Straight Rye. So the Taylor Straight Rye was $129.99. That's obviously more than MSRP, but that might be less enough for someone to pull the trigger on. And then the E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof Uncut and Unfiltered was $250, which is obviously 3 or 4 times MSRP. But it's still awesome to see these, because you never see these in Colorado on the shelves. So this is just kind of a reflection of where we're at right now, where the state of the market is. So I could have pulled the trigger on the Barrel Proof, but I feel like I could just wait a few more months, maybe 6 months, and hopefully I can kind of get one for around $80 to $100. We shall see. Maybe that was a mistake. Maybe it was a mistake on the rye for $130, but I do have a rye already. Next up, we have Caribou Crossing for the low price of $130. I wouldn't pay $30 for it, so that was a pass. The Buffalo Trace is marked up to $35. That's a shame. And then next up we have Old Forester 1924 there for $200. So of course, that is crazy, and I was never going to pay that amount of money. But Old Forester 1924 is pretty much everywhere here in Colorado right now. And then an allocation sheet that we always share here on the Whiskey Cove, and this is a total beverage in Colorado. They didn't really have much there. As you can see, they had a tequila, they had Caribou Crossing for $60, and of course I passed on it for that price. And then also Old Forester 1924 for 10-year bourbon for $150. So I feel like if you're selling Old Forester 1924, you have to sell it for like $120 or less, otherwise it's not going to move. And I think that was evident from this photo too. So that was a big pass for me. And then also as well, I took a couple of pictures while I was at this store, just to show you folks how much we see Buffalo Trace and at the price, because I mentioned that Buffalo Trace is like a $25 bottle of whiskey, and I've been catching a little bit of heat for that. However, look at this bottle here, Buffalo Trace, plenty there on the shelf for $25. It does say that that's on sale. However, at a different store, they have Buffalo Trace right there, 100 or so bottles plus for $26. Okay, I think it's still technically $25 or so. And then they also had Woodford Reserve, the Kentucky Derby, for $55. That is a 1 liter bottle, which they had there, and I thought that was pretty cool. So I grabbed a snaggle of that too. So thank you so much for watching today's video. Thank you to Zbiotics for sponsoring today's video. And if you don't already know, we were doing a 10,000 subscriber giveaway, where we were giving an old Rip Van Winkle 10, John J. Bowman single barrel, Wild Turkey Rare Breed non-chill filtered, the international exclusive, and 3 other bottles. When we hit 9,000, 9,500, and 10,000, then we'll announce the live stream event. You don't have to be on the live stream. You just need to be 21 years old, have to be a subscriber, and then submit your ticket in the description down below. Hit that bell icon too so you never miss a video, and as we drink through the world's whiskies one glass at a time. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers.